Yeah.
I can see it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Family Roundtable. It's so crazy that this is our fourth one. I get lost in time with everything that's going on, but man, it's so good to be back. And so we're doing this because on Wednesday nights, we're not able to meet together, sadly. And so we still want to make an effort to connect with kids, to connect with youth, to connect with parents, and really to connect with each other. And so we hope that you're tuning in, participating, and working on your family crafted discipleship plan along the way. Now, that family crafted discipleship plan is a tool that we want to use church wide to help us be intentional about taking steps of faith towards Christ and growing in what we do at home in the intentional discipleship of our kids. And so, first week we talked about spiritual disciplines. If you missed that, I encourage you to go back and check it out. With spiritual disciplines, we talked about the need to read the Bible, how to do some of those things as a family, why you need to do it individually, the importance of prayer in your life, and then maybe even taking a step further and doing things like fasting. And we went on to talk about church engagement. How are you involved individually with what goes on in the church, and then how are you involved as a family? What areas of service are you in? How do you participate in corporate worship? Are you involved in a small group, like a life group? And then last week, we talked about missional living. I had a lot of fun last week talking about different ways to love your neighbor, love your friends. If you're a kiddo, to love your classmates, other family members, and help them take steps of faith towards Jesus. And tonight, we're going to talk about family life. And so we are excited to do that. Now, along the way, I hope you have your family crafted discipleship plan out and are making some notes, taking some notes on it, and filling those out as we go. Now, I just want to remind you, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us via email. We would be glad to help you get those plans filled out so that you can do those things really well at home. Now, before we get started, we have some winners from last week that we need to recognize. So when we did a Pastor Pictionary, pictures that were drawn by guys on this stage, we had kids at home guessing. And so we have some winners. So Stowe family, please stand up. We can't see you. Hey, but give it up for you guys. Y'all did a great job. We got stuff coming your way. All right, so Brett, can you tell us a little more about family life and what we mean when we use that term?
Yeah, thanks. I think family life, for me, is probably the hardest definition. I know when we even began working together on Family Crafted Discipleship Plan, I think we joked at one time it's almost going to be like the miscellaneous piece because family life hits on things like relational warmth in the home. It hits on things like disciplining kids and even teenagers. It touches marriage. Marriage is an extremely important part. If you're married, a healthy marriage is an extremely important part to discipling kids. And so it hits all of these different areas. So when I was in junior high, I'm sorry, not junior high, I was in high school, my youth pastor had us read a book. It was called Concentric Circles of Concern. It was written by Dr. Oscar Thompson. And it's an old book. I put it up on the resource page on the FBG page last week because it's about evangelism, and so it leaned into our talk on missional living. But I left it this week because of my reference to it now. It was a life-transforming book for me. And one of the things that Dr. Thompson said that I remember now 20-some-odd years later sounds very simple, but he said relationships are the track on which love flows. And again, that doesn't sound very profound, but if you don't have strong, healthy relationships, it's difficult or near impossible to have strong love for people. And so family life helps us lean in on developing the relationships. I like to use the term a lot of times, capturing the heart of our spouse or capturing the heart of our kids so that they feel loved. And through that helps with discipline. It helps with all the things. And we'll touch on those maybe in the round table here in a little bit. So, a couple of weeks ago now, maybe a month or two, my oldest daughter and I went on a dad-daughter date. And trying to find creative things to do, things that are just a little bit outside of the norm. We'll go grab dinner from time to time. But I told her, I said, hey, we're going to try to grow some roses. So we loaded up in the car. We drove down to a local nursery. And I have no green thumb at all. I have no idea how to grow anything. So we started talking to the gentleman at the nursery, trying to find out all we could about roses. We went out, picked up a pot that had a pink one in it, got fertilizer, got all kinds of stuff, went back home. It sits out in our backyard. And so we've had it, like I said, for a couple months. And it's had 2 blooms. They're no longer there. The blooms lasted like 2 days each, and then they withered away. And so it's this struggle I have on my calendar to water those on a regular basis. And so I will yell out to my daughter, hey, go water the roses, or I'll go out and do it. I've got in there like the times when we need to fertilize it. This week I went back and pruned it to try to cut it back to see if it would grow some more. And even though I don't have a success story to tell you about it, what the point I want us to understand is in order to see that flower blossom, we're having to be very intentional. We couldn't just go buy the flower, put it in a pot, put it in the backyard, and just pray and hope that it would grow. I mean, maybe it would, but even with the work, it's not. But we're working, we're being intentional, and we're trying to cultivate that flower so that it will bloom. And that's what family life is like. It's on the Family Crafted Discipleship Plan. It's about cultivating relationships so that love will bloom inside your home. So tonight we're going to hit some high points in the roundtable, help you think through that and some practical ways that you can do that. So you can be writing it down so that next week when we take out our spiritual discipline worksheet, our church engagement worksheet, our missional living worksheet, and our family life worksheet, we can take all of the ideas that you're getting over the course of the last month and we can start putting them into a final plan that we start living intentionally on. But without further ado, we want to play some games. So Michael, tell us about what we're doing next.
Yeah, so tonight, instead of everybody else out there guessing Pictionary stuff, we had some kids send in some pictures, and you guys are going to play. And so a picture is going to show up on the screen. You're going to write an answer, and then I'll call for the answer. You'll hold your answers up, and if you get it right, you're right, and if you get it wrong, no point. Now, everybody at home gets to play against one of you. They get to pick a pastor that they think they can beat. And so out there, if you need to pick the person that you think will do the worst at this game. And so I'm not going to give you any hints on who I think that would be, but pick the pastor that you think. And so if you get more points than they get, then you win, and you'll be able to send in to us who it is, and anybody who beat their pastor will be put in for a drawing, and we'll deliver the prize to your house. So with that, can we get the first picture up there, and you guys write in big letters what you think it is?
Ooh,
There you go. Okay.
I think I got this.
Oh, I just don't know which direction to go. Okay. Okay, so they're writing down their answers at home, too. They just have to...
Yeah. So at home, go ahead and write down your answers, and this is 100% honor code, and since it's randomly selected from a drawing at the end, we trust that if you do cheat, it'll still work out where the winner actually wins.
That's right. The Lord knows.
The Lord knows.
I just looked at Kendall's answer, and I don't...
Can't
I
look
don't-
at my
I don't-
answer.
No, I've
That's
already
cheap.
written mine. I don't think I'm going to win.
Okay, here we go. All right, hold up your answers. Let's see.
I said a lizard.
We got frog on Lily,
I said
lizard,
frog on Lily.
lizard eating a fly, and the answer is lizard. That's right.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
lizard.
my
So
goodness.
I get
yeah,
points
and so
for
yeah,
that?
so one thing from a scoring standpoint, if you're out there and you wrote the word lizard, then we're gonna count. We're gonna count lizard. Yeah. And
I
so
was-
lizard. Would you say lizard eating?
Eating a fly.
Yeah, lizard
man.
counts. Lizard counts for sure.
All right, perfect.
All right, next.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
There you go.
That's nice.
Man, I mean, it popped into my head right away. I could be totally wrong, but
Yeah,
I guess I could be totally
it's
right.
pretty straightforward. So, all right, y'all ready? All right, here we go.
Well,
We
I
got
said
banana,
I said feather.
and bruised banana. It is,
Oh.
in fact,
It's
a banana.
Boom.
There it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Do you
It's a
see
banana.
feather now? Like
I can see it.
Okay,
I-
yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
I got it.
I kind of see it.
As soon as I looked on Kindle's paper and I saw banana,
Yeah.
I was like, I missed it.
All right, here we go. Round 3.
Ooh.
I assume y'all are keeping a mental score of how many y'all have.
I've separated
points
my
down just a
wins
Okay.
and my losses. So
Okay.
count. This one, like, it's a great drawing right here.
Yes.
Assuming I got it right.
I'm adding some flair to my answer too. So
I think.
All right, I think we're all ready.
Y'all ready? All right,
yeah,
here we go.
Ghost.
Ghost,
Yes.
Ghost, and Pac-Man Ghost. It.
Hey, it looks
Ghost.
like Pac-Man Ghost.
Yeah,
It's
no,
great,
I
great
hear you.
drawing. Really
Here,
is.
yeah,
Good
no,
job.
it counts.
That was good.
That's right.
Yes.
This is really,
That's right.
really good.
All right, next.
Oh, money.
Yes.
LJ's convinced on this one. He's
Very
got it.
confident on this.
I think my son drew one of these pictures, and I was trying to get him to tell me what it was. He wouldn't do it. He was just saying blah, 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 because he knew I had to play the game tonight.
All right, you guys. Oh. Okay.
I'm ready. What?
That- I can't.
saw that.
Listen, I saw your answer. I promised. I promised the addition is not correct.
Oh,
but
I was covering it just
here we
in
go.
case.
Hey, yeah,
I
yeah.
said
That's all right,
a
that's
bat
all right.
that delivered COVID.
Yeah.
Bat
No.
with COVID.
no, it's actually
was covered.
just
the
bat.
bat.
But I get the point, right?
You get the point.
Okay.
You absolutely
Okay.
get the point.
Okay.
You get the point. And the emails.
Not for this later, but maybe some other time. We need to have a discussion on why people eat bats. That's
It's
weird to me.
interesting.
Hey, it happens.
Interesting.
All right, here we.
All right, here we
ooh.
go.
All right.
Yeah,
Ellison did a good job.
Oh,
Yep.
yes. I know what this
for
is.
sure.
Okay.
I love it.
Now I'm looking. Let's see.
Oh man, I hate when I look at both of their answers.
And they're different than yours.
Yeah,
We
Well,
think totally different.
Don't
We
hate it
do.
too bad. Hold up the answers.
I said cotton
Ice cream
candy
stand,
maker.
cotton candy maker,
Ice
cream
cream.
cone stand. It's actually cotton candy.
Oh,
my
Yes. Point
goodness.
there.
Ellison,
Oh.
way to go, man.
Yeah.
Ah,
I
was
was
good.
feeling it.
Yeah. And the next one's up there. You can do it. Now, one thing I encouraged our artists is to use a single color. And that's one thing that was so good from an instruction standpoint. They really did it pretty straightforward, which I was appreciative of as the person filtering through.
Okay, I could go a lot of different directions with this.
yeah.
I think I got it. Hopefully.
I'm pretty sure Kendall doesn't.
I'm pretty sure I'm way off.
You,
But it's all right.
you think you're way off?
Yeah.
Hey, I am.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah. Hold up your answers. Here we go.
I said
You
a
got-
desk.
Desk, student doing homework, and a Zoom
Zoom
meeting.
meeting.
Wait, let's see what it is. It's a desk.
Desk.
Oh,
It's a desk.
that's good. That's
Wow,
good.
that's
I
pretty
just
good.
assumed you weren't going to hand kids Zoom meeting to draw. Was where I
That's-
was leaning. while
That's
looking
right.
at Kendall.
Random
guess.
random
Hey, you can
Pictionary
do that.
generator did not generate Zoom
That is,
meeting.
hey,
All right, here
I've
we
been
go.
in too many of them.
Next one's up.
Hey, we got the same answer finally.
I say, I
We
know
do.
the artist on this one. So
We ready?
yeah, hold them
All
up.
A door.
A door, and a front door. It's a door. It's
Awesome.
a door. Count it,
Who drew that?
Lydia.
Lydia did. Good
Yeah.
job, Lydia. I say good job if I get it because
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just thinking about myself.
Hey,
here.
where are we at points wise right now?
Yeah, can y'all give us how many have you gotten right?
I've missed 3. I don't know what that means, but I've gotten right.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 correct.
I've
Six-
got 5
six correct
correct.
and 1 wrong.
Okay. Well, this is it. This is the last one.
I've gotten 4 right.
Okay.
Elena, nice.
That's a good one.
That's good.
Ooh.
I got it.
Man, I'm not sure I do.
I gotta say, pretty much all the drawings have been better than.
This is
than
going
mine.
to tell you exactly about the home in which I live, my answer.
Okay. All right, let's see the answers.
I don't think it's TikTok, but that was.
We got music,
Just music.
TikTok, and party hat. The correct answer is
Party.
party.
Party,
And I
wow,
think,
good
yeah,
job.
within Pictionary, you get that. You
Yes.
get credit for that
I see it
for
now.
sure. So how many? So LJ, you got how many? 6.
6.
Brett,
Six.
6. Kendall,
And 4.
and 4. So okay. So if you participated, if you were going against LJ and you got more than 6, go ahead and send in your info. If you beat Brett, send in your info. If you beat Kendall and you were going against Kendall, send in your info.
Hopefully you
and
did.
we'll go from there. So hopefully you picked to go against Kendall.
So, yeah.
I'm the
so
big
they,
loser today.
They send their name in to.
Send it in on Remind. So you can text at FBG Round to 81010 at FBG Round to the phone number 81010. And once you subscribe, you can just let us know who beat the pastor, and we will put you in for the drawing, and we'll reach out and let you know who won and get you a prize if you did. So with that, LJ?
Yeah, I got a few activities for you kids to do right now. So if you go to the resource tab for Wednesday and see what we have lined up for kids, I'd love for you to do that and get that printed out if you haven't already done so. So we have those same activity sheets that we post every week that are part of our life group material for kids. But one of my favorite things that we've done so far is this sheet. And so what I've found out at home over the course of this time is that it's really easy to get frustrated with your siblings. It's really easy to get frustrated with your parents. But my son did something last week that really helped us. And so out of nowhere, he just decided to serve his sister for whatever reason. hopefully because he loves her, right? And so he decided to do that, and it completely changed the environment in our house. And so I would love for you guys to check out that page where you can be a light in the home. And so think through some things of what you can do this week to love your family and to be a light in the home. And I promise you, if you'll do that, it'll change the environment in your home. You'll help people have some fun. You'll help there be more joy in your house. So start working on that. Would love for you to check it out.
Thanks, LJ. So we're going to kind of continue talking about this idea of family life as we continue talking about the Family Crafted Discipleship Plan and kind of putting that together. And so Brett kind of started us off tonight, giving us a little bit of an insight of what it means when we talk about family life. But I want to spend some time kind of discussing some questions together and kind of dive deeper into that and more into that. And so we're going to try to be pretty practical with a lot of these things as we talk about family life and how to engage. And so we're going to start with the question, how do you try to capture the heart of your spouse? So what are some ways that you do that as leader in the family?
I try and fail in a lot of different ways. And so, like right now, we're at home all the time, and so it's very easy to see the mess and the clutter that forms because you're always at home. And so I'll try to clean up, and that completely gets missed. And so I don't get the right mess, or I'm the one messing it up, so I should have cleaned it up anyway. Like, if I really want to capture the heart of my wife, it's probably Milky Ways and other presents. And so, but if you know anything about me, I don't like to spend money. And so there's this epic battle that rages inside me anytime I need to capture the heart of my wife. And so that stimulus check really has saved our marriage. No, but in all seriousness, if I really want to capture the heart of my wife, I have to think intentionally and generously when it comes towards that kind of deal, because it really is something that there's those things, right? Relationally, she has that wish list or whatever, and I need to be proactive about checking some of those things off that wish list.
Yeah, for me on our discipleship plan, what really resonates in the family life category for us when it comes to spouse is date nights. We've got a junior higher and we've got an elementary schooler, and so we've had a child inside our family for 13 years now, over a decade. And once you have kids, that changes everything. Like I remember we used to stay up and watch back when Netflix was on DVD and they mailed them to you. Like I remember we'd watch and 2 o'clock in the morning, then we had kids, and at like 9 o'clock we'd put babies down and like go to sleep ourselves because it was just a game changer. And so trying to be intentional and say, hey, our kids are a big part of our time, the hours in our life. And so it is putting on my calendar, and I do it a quarter at a time. Every 3 months, I plan out dates. I have to try to be creative. I put them on my calendar. I go to Amanda's calendar. I change them on my calendar because she's got something on that date. I get it all set. Then something comes up, and we have to change it again. And so it's messy. But you use the word intentional, Michael, and that is, man, that's a huge word for me. But being intentional to say, I'm going to take my wife out and do things. It might be simple for her. Her favorite date is lunch and a movie or dinner and a movie. She could do that all day, every day, every day. I'm more of a creative, so I'm trying to always think of different experiences and things like that. But regardless of what it is, like those moments we put on the calendar. And outside of somebody calling me and saying, "Hey, I'm in the hospital and it's really bad. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, for an hour," I'm probably telling you I'm unavailable. And if you call me and say I'm in the hospital and it's really bad, I'm probably gonna ask like, "How bad?" Because I'm not going on a date. So that for me, that's a big thing for us.
That's good. Two things stand out to me. One, we'll have check-ins along the way, and so I think I find that people tend to operate off of assumptions when you're not careful. So both of us lean that way, and so our check-ins are about like, hey, what are we not clearly communicating about that we should be communicating about? And so like I think a lot of guys have this issue where your wife is communicating something to you maybe non-verbally, like I really want you to do this even though I'm not telling you, like I'm expecting you to do this even though I'm not saying it. And so we've gotten to the place where I go, look, what do you want me to do? Just ask me and I'll do it. Like if it can be a service to you, I would rather you tell me and me be able to to clearly say yes or no, and then we can move on from there. And so we'll have check-ins that revolve around that, making sure that we are communicating clearly with each other, and that we have the freedom to ask for help or whatever. And then two, my wife Bethany, she'll get interested in different things, and so as we go over the course of a year, I have to remind myself to have an ear out for the things that she wants to do, right? So like, she really wants to go hiking in different areas in our neighborhoods and in community, and so I'm thinking and reminding myself, hey, I need to make sure I put that on a calendar in one of our date nights. And so those things have been helpful, right? And so I find that when we do something that she's communicated that she's wanted to do, and maybe not know that we're going to do it on a date night, that goes a long way for me. So
Yeah, I want to. You said it, I said it, but I want to lean in. You calendared it,
yeah,
and I think that's important for not just husbands who are looking to still continue courting their wife even after they've put a ring on it. Wives, yes, capture the heart of your husband, but if you don't calendar it, it just becomes good intention. And then, how many people do you know? I know people that their kids graduated, they left. Now husband and wife are empty nesters, and they look at each other, and they don't know each other.
Yeah.
Like it's like a
who is this person?
yeah, because it was so focused on kids that they never pursued each other. And I think pursuit of that is how one of the ways that you capture the heart of your spouse.
Yeah, that's all really good stuff. And I think one of the things I hear on the stage, I think for all of us, and really probably for anybody listening, is we're never perfect on it, right? Like there's that intentionality that needs to happen there, but a lot of times we mess up, right? And we've got to learn from that and move on. And so kind of our next question, when we do it right, when we do happen to stumble into doing something right, to really capturing the heart of our spouse, how does that affect the way that you then deal with conflict? Or how does it affect conflict overall when you're doing those things well?
Yeah, I'll lean in on that one. And I feel confident enough that I will go on record and say, anyone watching can ask my wife if this is true or not.
You heard it.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Because I know she will agree with this. Because we pursue each other and because we are intentional about wanting to capture each other's heart and have a relationship that is deep and thriving and intimate, when there is conflict, there is a game-changing statement you can say to your spouse. And we've said it to each other many times. Hey, it's kind of this timeout in the middle of the conflict when you're arguing over whatever stupid thing it is that's turned into, nuclear war, and said, hey, just remember, here's the phrase, my heart is for you.
Yeah.
Now, I've been trying to capture her heart, so she knows that. And when I say, hey, my heart's for you, and she says to me, hey, even though we're like, arguing or yelling or whatever, my heart is for you, it every time stops me in what I'm doing. And I realize, yeah, she's not my enemy. This isn't a battle to be won. We both have hearts that are connected, and we're going the same place. We both want good things for each other and for our family or for whatever we're doing. We just see something differently, and we're not enemies. So, I mean, that's been huge. I encourage you, next time you're in a fight, just thought, hey, my heart's for you. And if your heart's not for your spouse, then the Timothy Center here on campus and lots of other resources would be great.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think for us, I'm going to go back to the way that we communicate about things that we expect or want help with. Like, man, it has been so good for us to be able to both agree to say, hey, I'm going to just ask or speak to you clearly without making an assumption. So it could be as little as, hey, I really need you to put the kids to bed tonight. Can't you tell that I'm worn out? And so both of us should have the freedom to say, I really need you to put the kids to bed. Instead of not doing it and then going further with that frustration and then 2 hours later go, hey, what's wrong? And it's like, can't you tell what's wrong? It's like, no, I can't. I'm not a mind reader. And so we want to move past that and make sure that that's not a struggle. And so giving each other the pass to speak openly like that has really been helpful. And I think back to early on in our marriage, going through just some skill building things where we worked on I statements. And so I do this in premarital counseling with other couples where I'll say, hey, I know this sounds really, really simple and childish, but you should take turns talking. And so in order to do that, find an object, and whoever has that object gets to talk, and the other person has to be quiet. And if they start talking, you put the object in their face to have the object. And while you have the object, you use I statements. And so you can communicate how you feel. You communicate from the heart. You communicate what you think. I feel this way when this happens. And so you finish saying, and then you give the item back, and then your spouse wants to reflective listen. So I hear you say that you feel this way. I want you to know that I feel like this when this happens. And so in building that into our marriage, it's helped with our communication down the road. And so if you don't know what I statements are, you can look that stuff up, and you'll find tons of resources around that. I encourage you to do it.
Yeah, that's good. I think y'all shared great stuff. I mean, when your spouse knows that you have their best intentions in mind, it does change it. It changes things when there's conflict there, and certainly can help you move forward as a couple. But let's switch gears a little bit. We're talking about spouses. Let's talk about kids, right? So how do you capture the heart of your kids?
I'll jump on this one. So my favorite thing in life, one of my favorite things in life, is parenting like young kids, little kids, and working with young kids, toddlers, preschoolers, because it's hard for them to hide their heart. And when it comes to disobedience, to where it comes to where they're having fun, like, man, that kid's going to wear it on their face. And it's a beautiful thing. And so when I'm trying to reach the heart of my kids, this is going to sound funny. I start with spankings. Like, we've talked about being obedient and honoring their parents. I want them to be obedient. And when there's disobedience, something has to happen to get them back in the boundary. And so we spank at our house. We do other things for discipline as well, but we're communicating the motivation behind that behavior. It's going to be clear with younger kids most of the time. And so what needs to take place to get them back in the boundary, and what's going to come out over time is that these things are heart issues. And so I can very early on start pointing my kids, their hearts towards Jesus, because he's the only one that can change their heart. And that's the only way that behavior is really going to change in a way that it's supposed to change, so that they can honor Christ. And so that's one way. And then I think just getting to know your kids, their interests, those things can be really helpful. And I'm sure these guys will speak a little bit to that too. So
Go for it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I think practically with my kids, it's case by case with each kid, and so my kids are different. I've got primarily little kids. My daughter's our oldest at 6 years old, but her interests are vastly different, of course, than my almost 2-year-old son. And so, it's that willingness to run at their pace at whatever it is that they're doing. And so if it's sitting down and coloring, then it's sitting down and coloring. If it's going outside and running around and swinging the swing as hard as you can, it's doing that. And so, other people would use the phrase, it's a quantity of quality time, but that quality time is not your definition of quality time. It's their definition of quality time. And so, even this past week, we went to the park and played some disc golf and threw rocks in the river. And you hear that, and it's like, okay, those are two activities that are actually pretty similar. You're outside, you're doing stuff like that. Well, my two middle boys, my Noah and Micah, had completely different experiences with those two activities. Noah came away from disc golf fired up, ready to go, and Micah thought the best thing in the world was rocks in the river. And if you talk to them, you would think that we didn't do the other thing. And so, it just kind of stuck in my mind. I'm like, my goodness, we had this shared experience, and yet where your heart resonated was in one component. And so I have to be aware of where my kid's heart gets fired up and go plug in there. And so with my daughter, that turns into Harry Potter watching at night. With Noah, it's disc golf. With Micah, and so, I think it's that willingness to engage at their level, even when you sit there and say, man, that's just not really what I'm into right now. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I would say, like, Amanda, my wife, is really, really good at this, like, of being intentional with our girls and setting things aside to do things with them. I mean, if we could add up the number of hours that she's played board games with Emerson, maybe even just the two of them, I mean, it would be huge. During this COVID time, when life has looked a little different for our kids, her and my oldest, they've been watching Friends, like, I think they're on like season 7 together, and a lot of it together. And because Amanda will sit and go, "This is what you want to do. I'll share this moment with you," and she'll share moments with Emerson the way she does. I struggled with that because I'm the only guy in my house, and so no one wants to share a football game moment, and I just never was good at tea parties. So I mean, I struggled with that. But for me, I tried the same thing with Amanda. I tried to intentionally on the calendar put dad-daughter experiences, dad-daughter time with them. That's intentional and purposeful. So Rayleigh and I, my oldest, we've got a restaurant in town that's like our place. And I didn't even intentionally do that, but now when we go do stuff together, just the two of us, it usually ends at that restaurant. I'm not going to name it because they're not sponsoring this event. I'm just kidding. It's Bob's Catfish and More. You should go there because we want to keep it open. We can have our table, like where we sit. And so, but it is leaning in and going, "Hey, I want to spend time with you." And then we also do some family things I put on the calendar that are sometimes dad-daughter, sometimes, "Hey, I've got it calendared. Saturday afternoon, the 4 of us are going to go do something, some sort of experience." It's changed over time as now that I have a 13-year-old, there's times we invite friends to come and be a part of that for various reasons. But we're not, I try to be pretty flexible about it. But
There's one more thing I want to add here. There's different seasons in work where you can come home just worn out, and it's hard to walk in the door and invest in your kiddos. But I never want them to feel like they're getting second place or seconds. Like, I want them to feel like they're getting me. And so I'm goofy at home in a way that I would never be goofy in my job, right? Like, even as a kids pastor, I want my kids to feel like I'm investing in them and just being myself and having a lot of fun and creating excitement in the home. And so that's something I enjoy doing, whether it's some random game that we make up and are laughing a lot or dancing around the house like crazy. I think those moments create memories that are going to help with this parental warmth in our relationship. So,
Yeah, that's good. So last question, just real quick before we move on. What's the most probably difficult part about adding this to the Family Craft Discipleship Plan? Because, you kind of mentioned at the beginning where this tends to sometimes be just a miscellaneous category here. So what are maybe some difficulties of adding this to the plan? I think we've touched on it a little bit, but just kind of to close out, what would be y'all's thoughts?
I'll jump on this in regards to parenting, because parenting, I would say you're going to be most effective if you and your spouse, or if you're a single parent, if you can determine a parental philosophy that fits you in the way that you're going to parent, right? And so that's hard to be reflected in. Like, it's not hey, I'm going to put this on the date, and this is the day that I'm going to parent incredibly well, right? It's more of a making a decision, gaining some tools and figuring out how to use those. But there is a way, without a doubt, to create stepping stones with the Family Crafted Discipleship Plan to say, here's a moment that I want to help my child feel connected with me. Here's a moment where I want to feel warmth. Here's a moment where I want to help my kid have joy. And those things will help in the way that you parent. In the same way, you can set things on the calendar, have specific conversations with your kids. Hey, we're going to start doing this in the way that we operate. When you disobey, here's what you can expect from me. What do you think about that? You can set time on a calendar in different seasons to have conversations like that. And then you can set things on the calendar to just have fun through different seasons. Christmas time, what can you do as a family to have a lot of fun? Those things are going to affect the way that you parent. So,
I'd say the biggest struggle is we tend to do what is easy rather than do what we say we value. And that's not just family life. That is church engagement. That's missional living. If we say we value the local church and every Sunday we're someplace else, it's usually because someplace else is easier than what we say we value, or we don't really value what we say we value. And if we say we value our spouse and we say we value our kids and we value them being discipled and we value them having a relational warmth in the home, then we have to do what we value. That's why I'll come back to it again. Reverend LJ, calendar. You want to keep your job because you value your job. And so when the CEO walks in and says, hey, we're going to do this or hey, do that, you put it down. Because you go, yeah, that's valuable to me because he gives me a paycheck or whatever. But what happens is I think we LJ also used, we give our kids, our family seconds. That's a great, visual of, walking through the buffet line. Everybody else gets to go, and then you get what's left over. But if you value that you're giving firsts, and that means that what I said practically, I literally have an alarm on my calendar once a quarter, and I sit down, and it takes me several hours, and I put all of those dates on the calendar because I value them. And it's being intentional and doing what you say is first for you, or what's a priority.
So for me, when I start to think about something in an area that I want to grow, then I become acutely aware of the failings that I have in that area before I even get started. And so I guess the hardest part for me when I consider different areas of the plan, especially in the area of family life, is when I start thinking about it, I become aware of my failings. And it's one of those things where it's like, man, I kind of wish I hadn't looked under that rock for a little bit, because I don't want to look my failures, right in the face. But then I have to take another step and say, well, but objectively, if I was failing in this area, it doesn't matter if I'm aware of it or not. I'm failing in that area, so I might as well know, and I might as well. And so, I think that's it for me. Maybe that first hurdle of being willing to look at deficiencies in that area, and then as you move forward in it, trying to be intentional, you gotta realize you're gonna take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Because you can make every date night, you can make every present, you can make every intentional thing, and then you're gonna lose your cool, And it's like, well, all that work for nothing, and it's like, well, but at least you did some work. But no, but in all seriousness, I think that's the hardest part for me. Is just that grace that I need for myself, to know that I'm not gonna be a perfect father, I'm not gonna be a perfect husband, but I certainly can be better.
Yeah, awesome. That's great, guys. Thank y'all so much for sharing. It's now game time once again, and so here's what we're going to play. We're going to play 1st to 10 Quarantine Edition. So you're actually going to get to play all of us on stage, and so this is a Beat the Pastors game, so you don't have to pick just one of us. You're going to play all of us. And so the way this is going to work is there are going to be some pictures flashed up on the screen. We're all going to hold up a finger if that applies to us, so we can say yes. And then when we get to 10 on stage, we'll stop. But if you get to 10 before we do, then you can email blevi@fbg.church, and you'll be put in a drawing for a prize and win something. So
They could also put it in the remind
yes,
thread.
you can also text the remind thread if you're in that, and your name will be put into the drawing. So
Sorry, let me interrupt you, but probably also put quarantine on it, or
yes,
if you can't spell
Tell us.
quarantine, separate, help us know so that in case you are in the running for Pictionary and this, you might win 2 different things.
Ooh, yes. So make sure you clarify. That'll help out. All right, so you ready, guys?
Yeah, I'm
ready?
ready. Definitely.
I have no clue what we're gonna.
Do what? Yeah.
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 Did you doze off?
I was here.
Okay.
I was here. Yeah.
You didn't have your microphone up when you're talking to us
Yeah.
just then
Yeah.
either.
No. Maybe I just phased out for a minute.
Okay.
All right, so
I'm
here we
here.
go.
I'm here, I
So get
promise.
ready. So again, anytime these things are true for you, you put up a finger. 1st to 10 fingers wins. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
And the first one is created a meme.
Created a
Has
meme.
anyone created a meme?
I
Is
don't.
that during quarantine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. During
this
quarantine.
is during
Oh.
quarantine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. While you're in quarantine, you create a meme.
Yes. Only during
I
quarantine.
have not.
Okay, we're going to the next one here. Broken
Broken
something. I feel like I've broken something. I mean, I feel like that's a.
No, you got to be able to tell us
Regular-
what it is. You
What?
can't feel like.
Amy, what have I broken recently? I don't.
I mean, I probably have, but I can't think of it.
I've
so.
broken a tool doing yard work recently. That happened.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, here we go again. Seen a doctor for anything. It doesn't have to be COVID. It can be anything.
Only one finger at a time, Michael.
Yeah,
You can't
I know.
put one up for.
Day one of this whole
Yeah,
thing.
each person.
My goodness.
All right, here we go. Here's the next one.
I thought I was gonna be better at this.
Me too. Gotten a new chore assigned to you.
Every day of my life.
Gotten a new
No, I'm
chore
just kidding.
I've
assigned
done
to
new
you.
chores, but my wife, she does it all.
Well,
Like,
does
she's-
it does
she's
it
an
count
all-star.
if we've taken on a new chore but it wasn't necessarily assigned?
Sure.
Why not?
Let's say it.
Why
Boom.
not?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 'cause
So that
I-
applies to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's stuff 0 though.
Taking a virtual tour of anything.
Yes.
I have two.
A 7-bedroom, 6.5 bath house in Georgetown we saw while we were walking. More details later. It was crazy.
Man. All right.
I toured it online.
Next one. Spent 5 consecutive waking hours in your room.
Bedroom.
In your bedroom. Sorry, that was really small font. I'm going to read far away. All right.
I think I have.
Well, I
Definitely.
haven't. I know I have it. Okay. Next one. Ordered something on Amazon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You might like lose points if you haven't done that.
Yeah. It's almost daily.
Right.
I feel like.
All right, next one. Not done any homework. I hope
Boom,
your
I
parents
count
are
that.
watching as you I
Catch
guess it
up
does
on
apply for me.
past some kids right now.
All right, next one.
I mean, I guess I haven't, but
Watched a children's show. All right, next one. Plugged a toilet.
Kendall's finger went up. Yes. That's awesome.
All
I'm
right,
kind of
next.
disappointed I haven't, though. It's like a badge of honor.
A parent
Oh,
has worked from home.
Definitely.
Now, so is that us as parents? Or I think our parents have to have worked from home.
our parents have to.
Our parents have to work
Well, I
from
know my
home.
mom has. She told me. So,
And mine has.
yeah. How about that? All right, next one. Watched a medical drama like ER or Grey's Anatomy, anything like that.
No, my wife has.
My wife has, and by default, I am
Not me.
watching. So,
No, I'll go do something else.
Yeah.
Too much drama.
yeah, I'm catching
And
up.
are y'all both at 7?
I'm at 7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
we're 7.
Oh, never mind. All right, next one. Thought I was winning for a second. Watched a complete series of 3 movies or more.
So that's like you had to watch all 3 Star Wars
So,
or more or
yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that? Or okay.
During quarantine.
Yeah, during quarantine.
Yes.
No, I
Close.
thought
Maybe
we
Lord
would
of
have
the
done that with The
Rings.
Hobbit, but we did not make it.
I haven't watched a movie.
Next one. Played with an animal, yours or someone else's. Now, I have done that. There's been lots of dogs in our neighborhood.
I don't think
Terrible
so.
at this.
All right, next one. Been to an outdoor area,
Okay,
i.e.
I can
park.
say yes on that one. Yeah,
You got 8, you got 7?
I got 8.
That's
Kendall, you're
seven.
at 7 too?
I'm at 7. Next one. Watched the same movie 3 times.
Okay, now. Yeah, Onward.
Really?
Yeah,
So
3
Michael is at
times?
9 right now.
yeah. We've watched Onward probably at least 10 times.
During quarantine.
Yes.
All right.
We're
So
gonna pray
Michael,
for
you
you.
get 10 on this
Right
one.
there,
Here we
Yeah,
go.
We're gonna
Next
pray
one.
for you after this.
I got 9. See if I can end it.
Not left your neighborhood.
I cannot
I
end it.
have. Like we go walking and we literally will drive to another neighborhood just to go walk because I'm tired of walking in my
So,
neighborhood.
so to be clear, we're putting a finger up if we have not left our neighborhood.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you have not left, you put a finger up. All right, next one.
If you don't live at the church, none
We're
of you
all
can.
here, so
Oh, true.
Visited an online zoo or museum. Anybody done that?
No.
Nope.
Michael's about to win it right here.
No.
I feel good about this next one.
All right, here we go. Next one.
Popped a batch of kettle corn.
Have a family member freaking out about the virus.
Well, it's over. Michael won.
Ball game.
Okay. All
Ball
right.
game.
Michael's the winner. We're
Yeah.
at
We
10.
won't say any names since we're talking about capturing the heart of your spouse.
That's great.
Hey,
Love
Dustin
you.
Besner said all 3. There's 11, Brett.
11. Oh, Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I was
there's
just
a lot.
mentioning like that there was 3.
He's just
At
calling
least
you out,
3.
man.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, hey, if you got to 10 before Michael did, if you will send an email to blevi@fbg.church, make sure you say the quarantine game, and you'll be in a drawing to win something great. And thanks for playing. And Brett's going to kind of lead us through our next little thing here.
Yes. So normally we play 2 games. We're going to play 3 games tonight. So we're going to bring back, not now, I'm going to introduce a video here in a second, but don't go away, kids, because there is a 3rd game. We're going to bring back the tax trivia at the end that we crashed the internet on last week. So,
Okay. Yeah.
But going back to this idea of family life and capturing the heart of your spouse and kids, one of the premier ways to help you understand how to do that is through the book. I mean, it's books, it's resources all over there. We got them up on the resource page, the 5 love languages. And so we're going to show a video real quick that introduces what the 5 love languages are, and then we're going to come back and chat for 5 minutes or less on that topic and then play a game.
Remember the past we both endured, a loss of affection with loss of words. used to hide behind closed doors or put up walls between us. And oh, how we misunderstood love. A whole other language we'd have to learn. Not always easier said than done. Oh, but now we know better, 'cause if love is a language, I'll use words. If love is a gift, I'll give till it hurts. If love's affection, I'll move closer to be only yours. Love is time, you have all mine. If love is to serve, I'll wait by your side. And I'll always find a way to say I love you more. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with you. Remember when we misunderstood love? A loss of affection with loss of words. We'd run and hide behind closed doors or put up walls between us. Not always easier said than done. With a whole other language we'd have to learn. And just to steer us back on course. Yeah, but now we know better, 'cause if love is a language, I'll use words. If love is a gift, I'll give till it hurts. If love's affection, I'll move closer to be only yours. Love is time, you have all mine. If love is to serve, I'll wait by your side. And I'll always find a way to say I love you more. With a touch, with a gift, with a song or a kiss. We're speaking the same language, and I love you more. On the clock, every tick, every chance that I get. To love you more.
All right, so we saw the 5 love language kind of displayed through that video, and again, we're not. I mean, we didn't write the book 5 love languages, but I know for me, it's transformed the way I see trying to capture the heart of my spouse. So just real quickly, what is your love language? Yeah, we'll leave it at that. What's your love language? Your primary one.
Whataburger? I'm just kidding.
Love language number 6.
Right, yeah. That's the 6th one they didn't put up there in the video. No, actually, mine is acts of service. That's mine. Acts of service, and then probably words of affirmation. Some too. Just a little of both. So
Okay. What are you?
Yeah, I don't ever know. I think I'm either acts of service or quality time.
So they say, and I don't know if this helps or not. You've probably already thought through this. There is a test you can take.
Yeah.
And we put that up on the resource page. But they say you also tend to try to show love in the
Right.
way that you receive love.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of
Yeah.
iffy for you. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? What's yours?
Gifts and then quality time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mine is I blow the roof off of receiving gifts. That's mine. I can remember specific gifts that people have given me. I mean, back through the years even. And this isn't on our we entire those. What's your lowest? Do you have one that's low?
Oh, I've not taken a test, but I can guarantee you that it's words of affirmation or gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, either one of those.
Do you know what your lowest is?
Touch.
Physical touch.
yeah, probably touch. I'm not real sure.
Mine's words of affirmation. We joke people have some pastors have a file where people have written them nice letters.
Yeah.
Encouraging letters.
Yeah.
You're the greatest pastor ever, and people hold on to them.
Yeah.
I got in trouble the other day at a staff meeting because I made the comment that I filed mine in the trash can. Well, that was great.
So if you're hearing this,
You wrote him a letter.
I'm joking.
Your letter means nothing. But one of our staff members wrote me, after I said that, a words of affirmation card, because we do shout outs on Thursdays, and taped candy bars to it and said,
Oh, there you go.
there's your gift. And
That's
I
awesome.
remember that.
Yeah.
It mattered. So.
Man.
So you have yours. Is your wife's love language the same as yours? If yes, that's probably easy. If no, how has that affected things? What do you do?
I mess up. So I'm be clear, so how's that affected things? It makes me a bad husband, and I mess up a lot. So Shauna's is definitely gifts, and I'm kind of conservative when it comes to finances, and so I'm cheap.
Cheap.
I'm cheap. And so yeah, I've really messed up, and so I've had to be intentional about being overly generous, which probably just tips in that average to below average when it comes to other people.
What about you guys?
Yeah, Amy's kind of opposite, different than me, and so she's more quality time and physical touch. So I'll like go out of my way to fix this really nice dinner because that's an act of service. That's how I feel loved, and do that. And then she's grateful, but it's like, it's just not her love language. So yeah, you definitely have to try to realize that you're different and go out of your way or be intentional with doing what they feel loved about. So
Y'all's the same or different?
We share quality time, and so that's been really helpful. And so I've known Bethany since I was probably 5. Now I didn't befriend her until we were in junior high. She was homeschooling with the public school, and so that's been something that's been highlighted. We just enjoy hanging out, so that part's really easy.
I know, so amazing. Amanda's is quality time. Listen, I tell you, this is a little look into our marriage. It's embarrassing for me, but on a regular basis, I couldn't even tell you how many times. Like, we might be going for a walk or something like that. It's quality time, or sitting down, and she'll go, "So how was your day?" And I'll tell her about my day, and then I finish, and then like the conversation is done, and she'll go, "What would you like to hear about my day?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do. I think." But I mean, that's her quality time. Like, and I miss it. You would think after being, I'll use the word reprimanded, 180 times that I would catch on, but I'm stupid. So, well, on the love language thing, they have one for kids. But we were talking earlier. LJ, you said something that was, I thought, pretty profound. Because they can go on and try to discover love languages with kids. So tell us what you were talking about.
So kids may lean into one area, but in child development over the course of a lifespan, kids really need all 5 growing up. They really won't lean into 1 or 2 specifically until they reach adolescence and start working through adolescence. And so if you think about your 2-year-old, your 5-year-old, man, they're going to want quality time. They're going to want gifts. They're going to want acts of service. Parents, you definitely know that. They're going to want those things. And so you can't say, like, "Hey, I'm done spending time with you. I've given you 3 gifts. You just have to wait till you get your next gift." That's not going to work. So they need to have each of those cups filled for them to really feel loved. So
Excellent stuff. So find the love language book if you haven't read it. Get the app, get the stuff, learn yours, learn your spouse. See if you can lean in, or maybe even be intentional with your kids, making sure you're
for
covering
sure. And I want to point you to a
bases.
resource here. On that page, there's one that's called "Are My Kids on Track?" It's part of one of the websites that we posted, raisingboysandgirls.com/listen. That'll be really helpful in the way you think about the way your kid develops, and then how you can help them along the way. So
Awesome. Okay, we're going to play one more game before we log out tonight. So we're going to play Kahoot, and here's how you win. If Kahoot doesn't crash the system tonight, then we all win. That's so everyone can be a winner tonight. But to be a second-tier winner, to be a double winner, you have to beat everybody else that's playing. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on your phone, browser, wherever. You're going to go to kahoot.it, KAHOOT.it. I believe you're probably going to see it on your screen now. There's going to be a game pin. Our game pin is 371-4471. And when you get there, you're going to enter your name. Now, if kids, you can play by yourself. It's tax trivia because last week was tax day, and we were going to play, and then we crashed it. So you can play with your parents, and we'll get you a dinner prize if you win this game. So while they're getting names in, on a scale of 1 to 10, and I'm going to make 10 be like an average day. 1 is the worst day ever. Where does tax day land for you? Because I know it's not good for anybody, I don't think.
10's average?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 8 or 9.
All right.
I mean, like I've got an accountant who takes care of me. She does a great job, and so like it's not unexpected. And so that's for me. Like, okay, whatever. It's just a day. It's paperwork.
I mean, I know what it is, but it's still, when I write that one last check for the quarter, because I had to pay quarterly. So it's like a big check every 3 months, and it's
Oh, she calculates for me though. It's
Yeah.
withholdings. It's
yeah. I mean, it's not that. It's just writing that check. I say big check, not because I make big money. It's still a big check.
relatively speaking. It's
Yeah.
a big check.
So man,
I,
All right.
I will say, you know, one of the things that helps tax day is all the bonuses that different restaurants do to kind of like lighten your mood and stuff like that. And then also, Taco Bell right now has been pushing some free product as well. And so they had some Doritos Locos tacos and now some flaming ones. I mean, it is.
we should probably talk to all of these places that we give shout outs to. Bob's
Yeah.
Catfish and More, Taco Bell, Five Love Languages. So we get a little like
I'm
promotional.
just saying, man, if we could, somebody wants to sponsor, we could throw a meal right here.
That's right.
And eat during the middle of the
Yeah.
family roundtable.
Coca-Cola
Right.
wants to sponsor us. I'll put my Coke Zero right here and I'll turn it towards the camera. Yeah. So
I'm repping HEB.
all right. Looks like a few more. I'm looking up at the screen. Some people are just hopping in. We'll give them about 10 more seconds to get in before we move to the trivia. So whoever's got eagle eyes can have to help me
So-
maybe read these questions.
Question: if you lose this game, do you have to pay more to the IRS? Is that how that works?
It won't tell you if you lose or not. So
Oh, okay. Well,
it's only tells the top 3. So all right. I don't want to kick people out. This is the worst part, even when you play like on stage like on a Wednesday night or something, is everybody's yelling at you, I'm not in, I'm not in. But at some point you have to hit start. So we're going to hit start in 5, 4, 3, 2, let's play. Okay, tax trivia. Oh my goodness, I don't know if I can read this. Question number 1. If you report your company for tax evasion in the U.S., how much of the collected amount could the government give you?
Oh, wow.
I can't read the answers from here, so
That's
think it's-
0%,
0, 15.
they can read them on their screen.
30 and 50.
I had
something
no
like that.
clue. I tried to validate some of these. We don't make these games. We get them from other places. I had no clue. You can actually like get a percentage if somebody like your company is evading taxes. That
So my question is, if that's the case, what accountant out there has made their career and their living off of going
Right.
from company to company
Right.
reporting tax
Yeah.
evasion?
that's a.
That's
I mean, you think about how much money and you get a percentage. So
that's right.
and you look at those percentages up there, and some are pretty big. And I just realized I talked through this, and like I might have given a hint of one answer that it isn't, but it's probably a little late now. So
It's probably pretty obvious too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tommy is a man.
You
It
hooked up
looks
with
like-
the
I
feed?
did. I think I'll be able to read these answers.
That's awesome.
Well, it looks like the answer was 30%.
30%. Wow. You could get 30%. Let's see who took the lead. Tommy, help me out, but it's still blurry on this. Is that Aaron? I think Aaron. All right, let's do the next question. Oh, there it is. Yeah, zoom in like that. Thanks, guys. Okay, in 1913, the federal tax code and descriptions was 400 pages long. How many pages was it in 2010? So there are your answers up there. You got 1,700, 17,000, 7,000, or 70,000. I know these answers because I did put them in from the game and didn't make them. I'm going to say this: the lowest number blows my mind.
Yeah.
So, and that's not a hint.
It blows
I
my
don't
mind.
remember what the answer is, so I'm not hinting as in like it could be that. I really don't know.
Even in 1913, that is 400 pages to me. That blows my mind.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
That-
crazy.
that's why accountants make money, because I guess they have to read all that.
That's right.
Thank you, TurboTax and accountants who do that for us.
Yeah.
So.
Man.
All right, we got a few more seconds left. 15 seconds. And if you're playing, if you log in quick, I think once we hit, okay, we hit it. All right, so the correct answer was yellow.
No.
I can't see what that was.
70,000?
70,000 pages. Oh, is that the correct answer? Green was the correct answer? I said yellow was the most answered. Okay. Let's see who's in the lead now.
That's incredible.
That's crazy.
It is.
I wonder what the file size is.
We're really they're
PDF.
helping me out. They're doing good, but this is so blurry I can't see. So you can see online. We're gonna let you go, Stephanie. Now I can see it. Takes a second. Jesus is in third,
All right, Jesus.
according to this. Okay. In 2010, General Electric made over $4 billion in U.S. profits. How much did they pay in taxes? Did they pay $0, $7 million, $500,000, or $1 billion? It's a good question. Can't remember how much did they say they made?
$4
$4 billion.
billion.
I can't even begin to fathom that. It's like Kindle money right there. Like,
Man, they,
yeah, for sure. What's the first thing you'd buy if you were given $4 billion?
A GE dishwasher.
Okay.
Give us a shot, GE.
you got $4 billion.
Product placement.
You got the money.
All right, 13 seconds unless everybody gets logged in. We have some people that are like taking their time to.
I'd
guess.
probably buy a 1996 Honda Civic, though, to be clear. I wish I had my car back from high school.
You are so cheap.
So
All right, so the correct answer that they paid was $0.
Oh,
I checked that out. There's some controversy, but it looks like it was correct. And only 6 people got that right. So our new leader, maybe, unless Stephanie's still in the lead. Nope. Yep. Jesus knew. Jesus knew who was evading taxes. All right.
Yeah,
So that was an
absolutely.
easy one for him.
Yeah.
Okay, next
Yeah,
question. Okay. Areas in what continent have started to tax cattle owners on cow flatulence? So
I have a guess on this one because it sounds very
Yes.
specific to us.
North America,
Yes.
Europe, South America, or Asia.
I don't know for sure, but I've got my guess.
Kids, if you don't know what cow
Yes.
flatulence is, your parents would love what that is.
just yell, hey, Google.
It's methane, right?
I
mean-
sure, I don't know the science behind it.
I mean, that's the greenhouse gas is methane. Okay.
Yeah, and cows produce it, I believe, in a specific way.
Well,
Yeah.
based on the question, I have a guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I get it.
have you ever lived downwind of a dairy farm?
They do smell real bad.
Driving
No.
through Panhandle, Texas,
Mm.
it's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stopped in up there for a little bit, for a 2-day visit, and you just realize
We got the answer. So the answer is, I keep shifting this, Europe. All right, is that what your guess was?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So our leader is now the Besners. Shout out to Dustin and Chelsea. Maybe that could be.
Dustin
Mr.
says
and
that
Mrs.
one was
Besner.
easy. Good job.
All
buddy.
right. Next question. Number 5. You get taxed on this addition to your coffee in Colorado. Is it creamer? Is it I can't read. Wooden stir, sugar, or lid? Wonder how much tax is on LASIK surgery, because I may need that.
Well,
I'm not a
any-
coffee drinker, so this should hit home to. You drink coffee, Kendall?
Yeah, I do. I love
Okay.
coffee.
I know these two guys do. You do.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So if you lived in Colorado, you'd be
Hey,
paying
you could
extra.
count that procedure against your taxes.
My LASIK.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't
Fle-
afford it anyway.
Flex spending account.
Um,
Use ours by January 15th. Every year.
I want to know how, like, I guess this is just like put into like your Starbucks bill. I wonder if it shows up like as a tax or not.
My guess is it's probably categorized as something, and they put it on there as a specific charge. For hating the earth or something.
All right. Well, it looks like the correct answer is lid, and the majority of
That'd be
people
my
got
guess.
that.
Yeah.
So let's see if that changes.
It'd be a convenience
Um,
tax.
The Besners must have missed that, and it's Lou. That may be Lindley Ecker. That's my guess. Lindley Ecker. We should play our own game of who do we think these people are. Okay, next question. And she would know coffee. That's supposed to be the easiest tax form. The 1040 has how many pages of instruction? Is it
Ooh, that's a good question.
1 page? Is it 48 pages, 22 pages, or 108 pages?
Is this the 1040 to 1040 easy,
Um,
or is there a difference?
Now,
don't
again,
know.
I went back and checked these things. I believe the 1040 EZ actually went away
Oh, did it?
officially 2 years ago.
Okay.
Some tax person's going to post on Facebook and correct me in this. But again, like,
If you do correct us on Facebook, just leave your link, and we'll contact you about sponsorship info.
that's true. All right. Here's where I'm struggling, because when I turn this phone where they're helping me, sometimes it shifts the layout to landscape to, and then then it's upside down. I'm trying to like read it, but I think I got it now. Let's see. 3 seconds. The correct answer, 108 pages. That was not answered well, so we will see if we get a new leader. The new leader is not a new leader, so Lindley must have gotten that one. I say Lindley, I still know that's her. LU got that. Okay, next question. Which state lets you stop paying taxes once you turn 100 years old?
That's cool.
Is it New Mexico? Is it Texas? Is it Vermont? I have a hard time reading the yellow. That's my problem here. Alaska. New Mexico, Alaska, Texas, Vermont.
That's a great question.
See, this will be interesting because you guys are all like, ooh. But like, if the answer's Texas and you didn't even know it,
Yeah. Obviously.
then you're just like, I can't wait till I live to be 100.
That's right.
Like, I got
Right.
something to live for now, not paying taxes.
Yeah.
So, man, I tell you what, of course,
And I think if you make it to 100, that should be granted. Like,
Right.
we need to get that in motion.
that should be like United States, the entire
I'm just
country.
saying.
Yeah, for sure. At 100 years old, man, what are you spending money on?
I would say that in Texas, most news cycles report.
Every time I ask you a question, you answer the answer comes up. I have to cut you off. It's New Mexico. Sorry, I'm not meaning to do that. The correct answer is New Mexico, and only 4 people got it.
Yeah.
And let's see if LU was one of those 4. It looks like,
Staying the same.
yeah, looks like, or maybe missed it, and the people who got it just weren't high enough on the board. Okay, next question.
So. Jesus still in a close second there.
Yes, Jesus is in second place. Next question is it's question number 8. In what year could citizens in all 50 states electronically file their taxes? Was that 1980, 1990, 2000, or 2010? So electronically filing your taxes. I don't know if that means it had to be done via internet or not. I'm showing my ignorance quite a bit. 1980, 1990, 2000, or 2010. Now, this is all 50 states. So it counts like Alaska. I don't even know if they have the internet in Alaska. That's way far away. Or there's some other stuff. Mississippi.
Well, I'm waiting for the counter to go down, and then I'll start talking. So give me a minute.
Right. I know, I'm sorry. Ask a question. I'm sure you have something like profound to say. And then I'm like, oh, stop. All right.
Yeah, so Alaska,
1990 was the correct answer.
That's
Okay,
impressive.
our leader is still LU. Okay, I think we're down to 2 questions left.
come on, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm definitely pulling for Jesus.
Question number 9. There was no income tax in the U.S. until this major landmark in history. Was it?
The Bill
I
of
can't read.
Rights,
Thank you.
the Louisiana Purchase, the Great Depression, or the Civil War.
Man, you're a lifesaver.
2020 over there.
Well, I didn't read that. I just knew that those would be the four choices.
Stop it. So it was no tax until one of these things happened.
Now, this is actually the first question I'm actually interested in. So,
So you don't like this game, apparently.
no. What I'm saying is, from
That's
a,
what he said, right?
from a history standpoint, I'm like, oh, this is interesting because here's what's going to happen. This game's going to end, and I'm going to go read more. Whatever this
Oh.
answer is,
Okay,
I'm going to go read more about this.
I like that. So this is gonna.
Yeah, this is going to cost some
Because you
action.
want to know why. You got to.
Yeah, because like the GE one was kind of shocking, $0, but that was my guess. I was like, yeah, big corporations like that all the time, but this one, I'm interested.
All right. The correct answer was the Civil War.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Well-
I'll be hearing your thoughts on that later this week.
Yeah.
All right.
You will.
There is a change. Reggie has taken the lead right before the final question.
And now it's exciting.
All right. Yep.
This is
Number 10. In the 1940s, the IRS commissioned Disney to create 2 cartoons to make taxes look favorable. Who starred in them? Was it Mickey Mouse, Pinocchio, Donald Duck, or
Dumbo.
Dumbo? I don't know if you make taxes look favorable. Your 1940s. I mean, obviously, we weren't around for that. Have you ever seen these?
the cartoons.
Yeah, the cartoons.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No, the most recent Disney exposure we had as a family was Saving Mr. Banks. That movie. That was pretty good.
I don't know if you guys get into conspiracy theory stuff.
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
have you met
Somebody,
Michael Sawyer?
Kurt Prater, you might want to mute me. So,
I mean, just saying, if you start early with kids, you make it look favorable when they're
Right.
3, 4, 5. You can start building on it.
And if it's Pinocchio, is that like,
That's
is that for lying on your
yeah.
taxes?
That's the answer.
He
Right?
was
Like,
I thought.
No,
should
the
you?
correct
Oh,
answer
no,
is
this is
Donald Duck. If it's
Okay.
Pinocchio, Pinocchio goes, I love taxes.
Right,
and
his nose goes,
goes.
Oh,
All right,
man.
let's see who the winner of tonight is. Third place was Jackman. Second place was LU. And first place, got 5 out of 10 questions. Reggie. Okay.
brought it back
Reggie.
home.
Do what?
I said Reggie brought it
At
back
the
home.
very end. All right, Reggie. If that, I don't know who Reggie is. So Reggie, if you can let us know who you are, we want to bring you a prize. So you can, again, put it through the Remind, or you can send it to belevitefbg.church, or probably even post it in the Facebook link if you're watching on Facebook, and we can grab it out of there. So, all right, it's about time to wrap up. Michael, take us home.
Yeah. So thank you guys for being here. Really glad you joined us tonight. And so if you have not started filling out your worksheets and walking through the areas of spiritual disciplines, church engagement, missional living, you can go back and watch some of what we've covered in those areas so far, and then sit down as a family and start kind of working through that plan. Because our goal at the end of this, over the next few weeks, is to put all these things together, and you and your family have a completed family-crafted discipleship plan. You can start taking your next steps in those areas. And so if you can, just start kind of bulleting out some of the things that rise to the top in each of those categories, and then start locking in some decisions as far as what your next steps are going to be. So glad you're here tonight. Join us next Wednesday night at 6:30 for Family Roundtable. But before that, Sunday morning at 9:30 for worship. Have a great night.